figure this is a good new look for the new year.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Dan Cardellichio. Welcome, everybody, back to Momentum Monday for 2021. I am here with my partner, co-host in crime, leadership expert, attorney Jen Garrett. And as she said, as we were going on, she is rocking a Chicago Bears hat. My Giants did not make the playoffs, Jen. Your Bears made the playoffs, so I'm licking my wounds, and you are smiling because you are very happy right now, or maybe happy right now. So how are you today?
I am good. It is now 2021, and so we need to be ready to get some momentum going this first full week of January, and let's go. And I am happy that the Bears made the playoffs. They were lucky to squeak in because the Rams ended up beating the Cardinals yesterday. So luckily the Bears are in. We'll see what they can do. I know we've talked before about how the Bears have not been performing well this season, but they are in. So, I mean, once you're in, you have a shot to perform, right? So now you got to step it up and let's see what they can do.
All right,
hopeful.
So we're going to move the ball this year, and
yes.
you're going to be the head coach for the Chicago Bears. You're going to be the head coach for the New York Football Giants, and we are going to go head to head against each other, and let's see who can move the ball more. But Jen Garrett, attorney Jen Garrett, she's leadership expert. She is author of Move the Ball. And welcome everybody to 2021. Happy New Year, happy holidays. And Jen, we had a tough 2020. We've discussed that before in December. And then we are now in 2021. And I am rocking. I am ready to go. I have set my goals. I do SMART goals. What should people be doing if they haven't set goals, or if they haven't set goals, what should they be doing right now?
If you haven't set goals yet, then you need to start the preparation to begin to start your goals. So what do I mean by that? That means you've got to get clarity around what is important in your life, not only this year, but for future years, so that you can set both short-term goals for what you want to accomplish this year, but also those longer-term goals. And then you can put in milestones in place to do this year. But I think it's very important, if you're not clear on what's important, that's the first step, because we can set goals all day long that are meaningless, right? And that don't align with what's important to us, what we find fulfilling. So you got to get clear on that first. And then once you have that clarity, you can really start the process of figuring out what are the goals need to be this year.
Now, what about those who have set goals already? How can they continue on with their goals? Because as we know, I think it's like the second week or the first week in February, those goals kind of go out the window.
Yes. Yeah. So the first thing is the commitment. And then people are, well, yeah, I'm committed. It's January 4th. Here we go. And then they start to lose that commitment over time because life gets in the way. There are distractions, insert excuse, XYZ. So what really helps you stick with those goals is remaining connected to the why. Why did you set the goal to begin with? What's the purpose? How are you aligning yourself with your purpose? Do those goals align yourself with that purpose? And that's why that clarity was so important, and then connecting yourself to your why. So when you remember why the goal was important and why you're doing this, then it's easier to continue to do it. But if you lose that connection, and that's what most people do, that's why they stop doing it by that second week in February.
Right. So what are some other tips and tricks to keep it going February, March, April, throughout the entire year? What do you recommend?
Sure. Oftentimes you're shifting your habits to be able to achieve these goals, because if you had that right habits in place, you would have likely already achieved them, right? Not necessarily, but in many cases. So for example, if someone wants to lose weight or have a healthier diet, if you had put the right habits into place before, you would be on that path. So you really need to think about, okay, what am I doing today? What do I need to be doing tomorrow or start today so that I can continue to achieve this goal and be working on this thing? So one of the things you can do is write down that habit, write down that goal every morning. And I don't have a magic formula for how long you have to do this. You want to do this every single day until that habit becomes a habit that you're doing without having to write it down. So you're writing down, this is my goal, this is the habit I need to do, and this is why I'm doing this. Don't lose that connection to the why. And so that's another way that you can ensure that you're going to progress farther than if you didn't write that down. Another tip is get a buddy, tell somebody about it. So you have that built-in accountability, social accountability. Obviously, we should be holding ourselves accountable, but some people kind of fall short in that area. And so having a partner to help you stay accountable is important as well.
Yeah, I like those two tips, and I like writing down my goals, and I always put down the why, the reason why, and so forth. And you want to change your habits, especially coming out of 2020, going into 2021. We want to make sure that we rock this year, because 2020 was one of those years where, you know, we were all thrown that curveball with COVID. So it's extremely important to make sure that we get back on track for 2021. So, and writing them down, keeping it positive, and I like, you know, having a buddy system that we could do it. I do this with my partners, because then if one of us starts falling off the wayside, Jen, there's heck to pay, and we start getting on them. Well, you said you were going to do this, and you haven't done that yet, and it's March. We're moving to get rid of you in the buy-sell agreement at that point. So those are some great tips. Now, what is one goal that you've set? I want you to share one, and I'm going to share one. What's one goal that you've set? What is your why? And what is the habit that you need?
Yeah, so one of the goals that I set for myself this year is to really kind of push myself in terms of content creation. So I'm very active, as you know, Dan, on social media, LinkedIn, quite a bit. But a lot of the things that I post on LinkedIn have been, just text posts, not so much video posts. And so I want to do more of that. So I ended up spending some money investing in some equipment so that I can have good quality videos.
Right.
That doesn't mean that it has to be perfect, right? But you want to obviously look well and have the right lighting, have a good camera, that kind of thing. And so, I mean, you can use your iPhone as well, but I wanted to kind of upgrade and do something more than just iPhone video. So I took that first step of purchasing what I needed to be able to create the content. But that's something that I'm going to be very active with this year, is creating video content, doing more webinars, and really helping people to move the ball in a number of different areas. One is in the career space. If you're looking for a job, there's a lot of people right now that unfortunately are in that position. So that's one area that I'm going to be focusing on, just delivering more value through videos, tips, also writing some more articles, that kind of thing, not just the traditional text post kind of thing.
Right. You and I are living in parallel universes, because that is one of my goals also, where at the end of the year, I said I wanted to take my podcast, Destination Health, and really move it to the next level, so that it's great content to motivate, educate, inspire, do some more writings, and really add that value, as you've said, and continue on with Momentum Monday to motivate and to educate and inspire. And, once I wrote that goal down, we were contacted by multiple individuals that will be rolled out over the next month or so. One of them today was rolled out, and everybody's going to have to go to my Facebook page to see who it is. And we have Jen here, so today is a good day, and I'm very excited about who we interviewed a couple of weeks ago, and I'm very excited to move forward and move the ball with Momentum Monday. So you and I are living in parallel universes when it comes to that. So now tell me, that was a business goal. Give me one personal goal.
Yeah, so for me, it's very important to focus on my self-care this year. And when I say that, that encompasses a lot of things. One, it encompasses healthy eating. It incorporates, good exercise plan, but it's also about taking the time that you need when you need to recharge. And as an entrepreneur, it's so easy to get caught up in the grind, right? And working till midnight
Yes, it
or
is.
beyond. And so it's very important to take that time to recoup and to recharge. And so I think that for me is a very important goal this year, is
Right.
focusing more on my self-care, all of it, the mental, the physical, the spiritual, all of it.
Yeah, I think that's extremely important because as entrepreneurs, that 5 o'clock hour, you're either working till 5 o'clock or you're waking up at 5 o'clock or sooner to start your day. I have set my goals, and this morning I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, by the way, and I was bouncing off the walls, if you will, and I was ready to rock. And I started my day around 3:10 this morning. So it was, and I've been going ever since. So a personal goal of mine, even though I'm a clinical nutritionist, I'm looking to be more healthy this year, coming out of the COVID and coming out of, watching individuals, contract COVID because of some complicating factors, diabetes and so forth and so on, being overweight. I am going to lose some more weight, and I'm going to up my game for for health, both physical and mental. And as you've said before, taking that break when you need to take the break. But I want to be more of an inspiration to my patients around the world, because I think it's important to do that right now in this time of COVID. So to show them, even though I may be in pretty decent physical condition, I'm going to take it to the next level. So I'll have further goals, after I lose the 15 pounds that I want to lose. So maybe I'll look at a 10K. I don't think my knees can handle a marathon, Jen. I think that you'll have to come pick me up off the pavement, McAdams somewhere at the 12th mile, and say, "Oh, geez, he didn't make it." That's okay. I don't, mentally and physically, I think I could do it. I don't know if my knees from a physical standpoint, I can do that. So, for those of you listening today, what are some of your goals, and why don't you share them so that Jen and I can help you out, and we can discuss them. So, Jen, tell me, what else can we do to move the ball for 2021 coming out of 2020?
Well, I think it's important to, and we've talked about this before, is to look at who's in your inner circle and think
Yeah,
about, do you have the right people? It's a new year, new you, right? Is the cliche. So you need to make sure that you have the right circle, new circle. If you don't have the right people, say goodbye to the people that are not helping, or you don't have to permanently say goodbye, but maybe they're not in the inner circle anymore
right.
and they're a little bit on the outer periphery. And make sure that, I mean, I do believe that the saying is true. You are like the 5 people that you surround yourself
Mhm.
with. And so you want to surround yourself with those people that are going to really push you, champion you. But it's not just about championship. You want people that have walked the walk that you're looking to do, so you can learn from them, so they
Right.
can help accelerate your progress so you don't make the same mistakes.
One of the interesting things is that once you get that mentor, once you're ready, the teacher appears, right? And that's the old cliche saying. And if you can get that mentor is very important, and they will help you along. And they are very generous with their time when they're
Yes.
helping somebody. You may think that they're not, but they are. I've asked somebody to mentor me in business, a big guy, big person. I'll let you know who it is in the ensuing weeks. I just started doing some counseling, with this person calling me up. So I just called and I asked, and they said yes. And it was a very interesting concept. And so ask, you know, what did Wayne Gretzky say? 100% of the shots that you don't take don't go into the net. So it's not bad to ask. It's not bad to take that shot. Take the shot. I think that's very important.
Yeah,
So
so one thing, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think another
yeah,
thing that's important is ask for help, right?
yeah,
Like a lot of times we don't want to ask for help, and it's okay. You should. It's a sign of strength. It's not a sign of weakness, as so many people think. So have the courage to ask for help, ask people to be a mentor or to be a champion or to open a door for you. I think that's one thing. So a lot of times during the new year, people, I've seen these posts over the last week. What's your word for 2021?
Right. I've seen that a lot today. What is my, what's your word? I don't know. I'm so old. When you say what's your word, I say grease is the word.
So for me, last year, my word was evolve. And I think it was a good word, especially because I was a new entrepreneur, but also because of COVID. So I had to evolve and pivot and adapt. This year, my word is daring. And so it's about going out there and make the ask, take the shots, as you say. And you never know, where things will fall. But one thing is for sure, if you don't take the shot, then you're not going to get anything.
Right. And my word, I did write it down yesterday, is limitless. So I want to be limitless this year in so many facets of life to move the ball. We're almost done. We've discussed setting goals, writing them down. We've discussed what habits that you need to have in order to get that goal. We've discussed, again, which is very important, to be, daring, to be limitless, to have that no fear. And the individuals that surround you are very important. Not to say that you're going to get rid of them in your life. However, if you've set a goal, perhaps that individual doesn't fit into that particular goal. And it reminds me, Jen, I've been part of networking groups for the better part of 30 plus years. And I had to say no to a bunch of networking groups because the individuals that were involved were, it's over, my business is done, COVID's going to do this, I can't do this. They weren't into pivoting. And I had a difficult time with that, and even trying to mentor them, even without them asking me, to get them to the next level. So unfortunately, I've had to say goodbye to some individuals myself, and it's okay. There's nothing derogatory. Doesn't mean that you're a mean person. If they're on a different path than you, it's okay. You follow your path. Is that correct, Jen?
Correct, Tess. You really have to think about the energy that the people around you are giving off. And so in that case, those people are giving off negative vibes. And those negative vibes, they stay with you throughout the day. It's not just during the interaction that you have with them or the post that you read. Right. There's a carryover effect. And so what that does is that also it impedes your productivity because you've got this negativeness that's dragging you down. So you absolutely need to say goodbye to those people that aren't aligned. And that doesn't mean they're bad people. You guys are just in different places. And so sometimes you have to do that. Now, I've had people say, well, you shouldn't just say goodbye to people. Maybe you should try to help them. And that's true. I mean, you should, if they're close friends of yours, and we should, it's not all about us, right? So maybe there's something going
absolutely.
on. We can support, but there comes a point where you have to assess and you can say, okay, you know what? I've done what I can. And they're just not in the same place right now. So we just need to take a break, or just not interact as frequently right now. And maybe down the road, things will change. But right now, you need to look at who are you spending the most time and energy on and with, and are those the right people?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And that is a great goal to set for 2021. Be around those people who challenge you. And perhaps you can also challenge individuals in return. I think that's great. Okay, Jen, we're almost done with our first Momentum Monday of 2021. Want to thank everybody for coming today. Want to thank you, Jen, for being here. And I'm committed to our Momentum Monday, as I know you are. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to pick up again next week with Move the Ball by attorney Jen Garrett. Please go out and get this book. Make this a goal for you for 2021 to get the book. Great book. I finished the book, and I'm going to be reading it again. We're going to be discussing it again starting next week. Jen, any closing comments?
Happy New Year. Let's make this year a great year. I know people are like, well, how can 2021 be worse than 2020? But it really falls on you. You can't control what goes around in the environment, but you can always control what you're doing, what goals you set for yourself, and if you achieve them. So focus on what you can control. Don't worry about the rest.
And I agree with that. No matter what happens, no matter where you are, there's always a way to move the ball. There's always a way to grow. There's always a way to develop. There's always a way to be daring, and there's always a way to be limitless. So go for the gusto. Jen, thank you very much. Happy New Year, everybody. We will see you next week, anywhere between 9:30 and 10-ish for Momentum Monday. Jen, move the ball. Have a great week.
Thanks, Dan. It's great to see everyone today. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, all.